Hi, this is Ms. Pellegrin, and today we're going to be looking at Module 2, Lesson 23, Solving Equations Using Algebra. So in this lesson, we're continuing on getting some practice, looking at more word problems, doing the same thing we were doing in Lesson 22, just getting more practice, doing this same thing. So using the additive inverse and the multiplicative inverse, which we said was also multiplying by the reciprocal. So we're going to be continuing to look a little bit with the tape diagrams at them and seeing how it works visually as well as algebraically. Okay, in exercise number 1, go ahead, you're going to pause the video, try and write that equation for the youth group trip, and then play the video to make sure you're correct, and then we'll go on to solving it. Okay, so write an equation for the cost of the trip. The youth group is going on a trip to the amusement park. The trip cost each group member $150. So that's our total. That's what everything's going to equal. And it includes an $85 for the hotel and then 2 one-day combination entrances that have meal plans. Write an equation representing the cost of the trip. Let P be the cost of the park pass. Okay, so we have $85 plus the park pass, but it was 2 of them. So plus 2 park passes gives me a total of $150 that we are spending. Okay, so part B, we are asked to solve it algebraically to find the cost of the park pass and write the reasons that justify each step. Okay, so 85 plus 2p equals 150. So we're trying to get p by itself. We're going to do the additive inverse of positive 85, which is negative 85. Okay, so reasoning, additive inverse. Leaves me with 2p is equal to $55. Nope, 65. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Whoops. 65. Okay, then we multiply by the reciprocal to make 1 over on that left side, or where our variable is. Which leaves me with p is equal to 65 over 2. And so that's not an even number, so I know that it is not going to be a whole number. So 2 will go into 65. 2 goes into 6 3 times. Subtract. Bring down the 5. 2 will go into 5 twice. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract is 1. Put a decimal and a 0. Bring the decimal straight up. Bring the 0 down. 2 will go into 10 5 times. So p is equal to 32.5, and p was the cost of the park pass. So the park pass, it just at this point, no. The park pass cost $32.50. Then we are asked to model it as a tape diagram. Okay, so model it as a tape diagram to kind of go back, check your work. Okay, so we know that we had an $85 for the hotel And then we had a park pass here. We had a second park pass. And the total of all of that was $150. Okay. So part D, we want to model this situation. So again, pause the video, take about a minute to read and then write an equation and check your equation. Suppose you want to buy your favorite ice cream bar while at the amusement park and it cost $2.89. If you purchase the ice cream and 3 bottles of water, so you're getting this and, so we're adding that, 3 bottles of water, and you pay with a $10 bill, and you get no change, how much did each bottle of water cost? So this $10 is our total. Okay, so we know the ice cream was $2.89 plus 3 bottles of water. They're all going to cost the same amount. So 3 times the number of water bottles equals 10. Solve the equation to determine the cost of 1 water bottle, then write your steps to justify. So again, go ahead, pause the video, solve that equation. Okay. So we're subtracting $2.89 from both sides, so we should line up our decimals. So add a decimal and 2 zeros behind that 10. Justify our reasonings. We're doing it because this is the additive inverse. So this is 3W is equal to, subtract, so 1, I had to borrow from over here. So this became 10, couldn't do it. So I borrowed from here and it became a 9. Here, couldn't do it. Okay. $7.11 multiplied by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. So that gives me W is equal to 711 divided by 3. Keep it nice and lined up. Okay, so 3 will go into $7.11. Bring that decimal straight up. 3 goes into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. Leaves me with 1. Put down my 1. 3 will go into 11 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract. Gives me 2. Bring down the 1. 3 goes into 21 7 times. So W is equal to $2.37. So a bottle of water was $2.37. Model to check your work. Okay, so the ice cream was $2.89. Plus we were buying 3 bottles of water. Water. Was giving me a total of $10. So then when I add 237 3 times and the 289, I should be getting $10. So 9 plus 77 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And so it does check off. Okay, number 2 exercise. First thing, asks you to write an equation, and it asks you to use A. So go ahead, pause the video, and write that equation. Okay, Charlotte receives a weekly allowance from her parents. She spent half of her week's allowance at the movies, but earned an additional, so that's adding $4 for performing chores. She did not spend any money and finished the week with $12. What is Charlotte's weekly allowance? Okay, so she spent half of her allowance. But she got $4. And she had a total of $12 left. Okay, so once you've made sure you had your correct equation, now take that equation and take it to part B, pause the video again, and solve your equation. So your first step, you subtracted because it was the additive inverse of this constant, this number without a variable. And so that leaves us with 1/2 A is equal to 8. And then we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're left with just A on this side. If you do it to one side, do the same to the other. So A is equal to 16. So original allowance is $16. Explain your answer in the context of the problem. So Charlotte's weekly allowance is $16. Part D, go ahead and pause the video, and it is asking you to use what you found in Part C to write an equation to determine the number of weeks that it would take Charlotte to work to meet her goal of saving $100 for a beach trip at the end of the summer. Use W to represent the number of weeks. Okay, so she's making $16 per week, so 16 times the number of weeks, and we need her to make $100. Okay, so here we would just multiply by the reciprocal. So W is equal to 100 divided by 16. So 16 will go into 100. Let's see, 5 times maybe? 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7, 80. Subtract is 20, so it'll go in there 6 times. Oops. Six times 6 is 36. Carry my 3. 6 times 1 is 6, 7, 8, 9. 96. Subtract is 4. Put a decimal and 0. Putting the decimal up. Putting the 0 down. 16 will go into 40. Let's see. 2 times 16. 2 times 6 is 12. 2, 3, 32. Gives me 8. Bring it down. 16 will go into 80. We just did that earlier, 5. So 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 625 weeks is 6.25. So it will take her more than 6 weeks. Okay. So it will take her more than 6 weeks. Take her 7 weeks. And then it wanted to know would it meet her goal? And so we're going to say yes, because there are 10 to 12 weeks in summer. So I'll think that she's at the beginning of the summer and that she'll be able to make that goal if she does not spend any money. Okay, number 3. Alan is very excited about joining a travel baseball team for the fall season. He wants to determine how much money he should save to pay for the expenses related to his new team. Players are required to buy uniforms, travel expenses, and meals. So, if he buys 4 uniform shirts at one time, and he gets a $10 discount at that time, the total cost of the 4 shirts would be $44. So there's our total. Even said total cost. Write an algebraic equation that represents the regular price of 1 shirt. Solve the equation, write the reason that justifies each step. Okay, so we know our total is going to be $44. And we know that he's buying 4 shirts. The shirts are all going to be the same price. So we're multiplying 4 times the number of shirts. And then we're getting a $10 discount. Okay, so we're taking away $10 from that original price. Okay, so this one's a little different. We are seeing that subtraction, and we haven't been seeing that in our problems. Okay, so we are going to add 10 to both sides, leaving me with 4 shirts is equal to $54. So originally, they would be $54 without the amount taken off. And then we multiply by the reciprocal, which is the same thing as dividing by 4. So S is equal to 54 divided by 4. So 4 will go into 54. $13.5 times. So a shirt is $13.50. Okay. What was the cost of 1 shirt without the discount? So without the discount, shirt cost $13.50. What was the cost of 1 shirt with the discount? So for 4 shirts at $44, so with the discount, multiply by the reciprocal. So we only have one step here. S is equal to 44 over 4. S is equal to $11 per shirt. With the discount. How much more do you pay per shirt if you buy them one at a time rather than in bulk? So we have to have part B and C to do this. So it was $13.50 originally. It's $11 when it's on discount. So this is in original, this is in bulk. So $2.50 savings per shirt. Allen's team also was required to buy 2 pairs of uniform pants and 2 baseball caps, which was a total of $68 total. A pair of pants cost $12 more, that's adding, than a baseball cap. So $12 more than the baseball cap. Write an equation. Let C represent the cost of the baseball cap. So the pants are $12 more. Okay, so we're buying 2 pairs of pants and 2 baseball caps. So we're buying 2 of each. The baseball cap and the pants. And that equals a total of $68. Okay, so the pair of pants cost the cap plus $12. So 2 times C plus the cap and the $12, because this would represent right here the amount of the pants. Not because he's buying more caps, but because of the price of the pants is the price of a cap plus 12. So this part right here is just representing the pants, not saying that you're buying more caps. And then that is equal to 68. Okay, so then we could say 2 times, there are 2 C's plus 12 is equal to 68 as our equation. Okay, they had also when we distribute 4C plus 24 equals 68. So when we do 2 times 2, you get 4. 2 times 12, you get 24. And it was equal to 68. So those are some different versions, all equivalent expressions or equations. Now, take the equation and solve it. Make sure that you're justifying each step. Pause the video and do that. Okay, so we said we use this one, we have to distribute first before we can do anything. Okay, so this was distribute. This is our additive inverse. 4C is equal to 44. Multiply by the reciprocal in order to get 1 by the C. So C is equal to 44 over 4. So C is equal to 11. So C was the cost of the baseball cap. So the baseball cap was $11. So we always have to go back to see what our letters represented and what it actually meant. Okay, so then model the problem using the tape diagram. Okay, so we bought 2 caps. Then we bought a pair of pants that cost $12 plus the cost of a cap, and then $12 plus the cost of a cap. So what was the cost of 1 cap? So then we had 68. We took away the 24 amount that we knew, which left us with 44, and there were 4 C's, so we divided by 4, which left me with 11. So what was the cost of 1 cap? $11. What was the cost of 1 pair of pants? So that was cap plus $12. The cap was $11 plus $12 gives me $23 for a pair of pants. Okay. So when we're looking at word problems and making them into equations, some of the things that we look for is we look for a total, we look for keywords that would be the constant and then the coefficient. We didn't use that word coefficient. Our coefficient is the number in front of a variable. So for instance, if we look back at this one, something that was repeating. Let's see. There were 16 times the number of weeks, so that was our coefficient there. Okay. 3, we had 3 bottles of water. They were all costing the same thing, so this was our coefficient. That's what we were multiplying. And so hopefully we have had a good bit of practice, and hopefully you've taken a good opportunity to try these on your own and do your best on each of them. And that is it for lesson 23.